In my previous video about the OLight i5R, I compared it to the OLight M1T that I had been using as an EDC flashlight for years. I also showed footage of me unboxing the flashlight, figuring out how it worked, and then testing it out in a few situations while I was on a 2-week road trip. In this video, I want to share with you my experience using this flashlight while deer hunting, as well as talk about using it as an EDC flashlight, go over the belt clip, and talk about a test with the battery. So let's get started. So the first thing I want to talk about is the battery for this i5R flashlight from OLight. Now I've had to reshoot this a few times. I've had some screw-ups, but those screw-ups have taught me a lot. The first thing is that at the end of the last video, you might have noticed that I was charging up the battery. I brought it up to a full charge, and that took between 3 hours and 9 minutes and 3 hours and 16 minutes. I'm not sure exactly at what point, but the last time I checked it and the light was red was at 3 hours and 9 minutes. I came back downstairs at 3 hours and 16 minutes, and the indicator light here by the top post had turned green. Once I had a fully charged battery, I put it in the flashlight. I put it on the higher of the two settings. I sat it down. I turned on the stopwatch feature again. I reset it, and I was watching some TV for a while the flashlight was there. And at the 3 hour and 13 minute mark, it just shut off. And that's something else I've noticed about the flashlight as well that I didn't mention in the previous video, is that when the battery goes dead, it goes dead. It doesn't flicker, it doesn't give you any sort of indications, and when it's done, it is just done. But 3 hours and 13 minutes on the higher of the two settings is pretty good. Now, I decided that I would try to find some information about this battery, at least try to find out what the replacement battery price is to include that in the video. So I went onto the OLight website looking for replacement batteries, and they do offer them, but they don't offer this particular model for the i5R. Now there are other batteries that look like this, and in the description it says specifically what models those batteries are what models of flashlights those batteries are compatible with. At no point did I find any listing for the i5R. Perhaps OLight doesn't think that at this time it's worthwhile to sell a replacement battery for the flashlight because it's a $35 to $40 flashlight, and maybe they figure by the time the battery goes dead you're just going to go buy another flashlight. I'm not too sure. But I was thinking to myself, this battery is the same size as a AA. I wonder if a AA would work in there. Well, not long after thinking that, I scrolled down through the specifications and it says compatible with the AA battery. So I took a brand new Energizer AA alkaline battery, I put it in the flashlight, I turned it on the higher of the two settings, and I sat it down, I reset the stopwatch, and I was watching TV where I would just have this in plain sight where I could see it and waiting for it to go out. At about the 3 hour and 16 minute mark, I kind of noticed that the light was dimmer. It was still lit up, but it was dimmer, and I thought to myself, what if I put it on the lower of the two settings? So when I pushed the button to change it to the next setting, and I clicked it a second time, it was dead. It was done. It was out. That was it. It was done. And I'm wondering if just that initial amount of power it takes to start up is all it takes to run the battery dead at that point. I wasn't satisfied with that, so this morning I got up, I put a brand new Energizer AA alkaline battery in it, I made sure it was on the higher of the two settings, and turned it on, and right now we're at the 6 hour and 17 minute mark and it's still lit. Now what I did notice though was that after about an hour it did start to look a little bit more dim, at least to my eyes it did. However, the light is still bright enough at past 6 hours that you can do some up close work. I'm going to go ahead and turn off the overhead light here. You can see that it's definitely not as bright as it could be, but I can still see these small parts and that sort of thing. Now at about the 4 hour mark, I took it into a closet and I was able to see everything. It was pretty good. At about the 5 hour mark, I kind of thought it was getting a little bit more dim. but I was still able to use it in a closet. So over time, the alkaline battery does run dead, and I'm willing to bet if I tried to change the settings on the flashlight right now, it probably wouldn't come back on. The reason I haven't ran this all the way until it just goes out is because I'm kind of running up against the clock. I've got to leave for work soon, so I just thought I would reshoot this part of the video and share with you everything that I've figured out, at least up to now, about the battery and the different options that you have. Now on to the rest of the video. Next, I'd like to talk about the belt clip on the i5R. So the i5R came with a blue belt clip that just simply clamped around the round body of the flashlight. And I was kind of concerned that it would pop off. A couple times it did pop off, but the way I was carrying it, it fell right back into my pocket. I figured at some point I'm probably going to lose this belt clip. Well, I didn't have the flashlight for about a week before I lost it, somewhere between the Luxor and Mandalay Bay, or possibly on the gaming floor of Mandalay Bay. When I got home, I went online to look to see if they sold replacement clips. They do. They're fairly inexpensive. However, they were out of stock. As a matter of fact, they were out of stock for 3 months. So I was finally able to place an order with OLight to get a replacement belt clip. I ordered it on the 24th of January, and it arrived on the 31st of January. So let's go ahead and open it up. Now, this is the buck knife that I normally keep down here at my reloading bench that I use for unboxing videos, and it's always dull. So, New York Outcast sent me a knife sharpener, and I recently sharpened it. So let's see just how well it works. I'm going to go ahead and cut this bubble pack envelope from OLight lengthwise here. Oh yeah, nice and sharp. Just cut right through that. Alright, so let's go ahead and there is plastic bag. Alright, so each clip, I ordered more than one clip, is in its own individual plastic bag. So what I did was I ordered 2 of the blue clip, like the one that came with it, and 1 in black. So let's go ahead and open it up here. These bags, they look like they might be reclosable. Yeah, there's a little flap here. And they're reclosable. Actually, a lot of packaging just for a simple clip. Let's go ahead and open up the black one. Slide it out. You can see you've got options. So, with the flashlight still on with the alkaline battery in there, let's see. Just go ahead and pop this on there. Good as new. Let's try out the black one. You can see how easy it comes off. Yeah. Alright, so these were $3.95 each, and shipping charges on 3 of these was $5, and it took a little bit more than a week to get. So that's really not too bad. Unfortunately, though, I had to wait 3 months for them to come back in stock. Hence, that's why I bought extras, just in case. And losing a $4 clip is a lot better than losing a $35 to $40 flashlight. So now that we know we can inexpensively buy replacement belt clips in 2 different colors, let me explain some of the footage you're about to see. All of this was taken on 3 different occasions after sundown, where I was trying to track a deer that I might have potentially hit. Now, in all 3 cases, they were clean misses. On 2 of them, it was because I had a scope that was off on my rifle, and I couldn't do a follow-up shot because the rifle jammed both times. Another one of the situations there was where the deer were out of range. I had a minute of light left, and I just guessed at a holdover and just took the shot. It really just gave me a chance to walk around in the dark, out in the fields, and just see how well the OLight would work for tracking a deer. You can also see that I dropped my gloves, and they're snow camouflage gloves, and even in the dark, I was able to find them. I was able to backtrack my footsteps and find them using the light from this flashlight. Also, you'll see a short clip where I'm just demonstrating the flashlight battery being charged with the cell phone charger in my wife's car. based on the pattern of the impact and the position of the deer and the position of the blind. I'm gonna guess I shot low. I shot underneath it. Seems to charge in the vehicle just fine. I couldn't see if the deer went down after I took the shot because of the muzzle flash. So I'm out here in the field looking to see if it's here. I've got the OLight with me. There's the low setting. There's the high setting. Well, I didn't find a wounded deer, but I did find the gloves I dropped. Now, as far as my impressions of the i5R as an EDC flashlight, I'll say this. It has a lot of advantages over my previous EDC flashlight, the M1T Raider. As a matter of fact, it's superior in all ways except for the fact that the M1T has a built-in clip which stays on, whereas there's a clip on the i5R that can be lost. But that aside, it gives more life out of the battery. I save money by being able to use an ordinary cell phone charger to charge up the battery. It's smaller in diameter, it's lighter, it's a little bit handier, it doesn't get hot when you use it, and the beam has a wider dispersion, and that comes in real handy, especially outdoors. So I am going to keep the M1T as a flashlight to use around the house and a backup in case I ever lose the i5R. But otherwise, I would absolutely recommend this, especially if you're looking for a gift for somebody who's an outdoor enthusiast or who is in the skilled trades. You can use this pretty much anywhere, and it's so handy just with the size and the fact that you can charge it the way you can that it really fits the bill for a lot of purposes. So in conclusion, I'd like to thank Travis P11 for both of these OLights. I've got a lot of use out of them at work, at home, as EDC flashlights, and on my leisure time. I would have never been interested in OLight if it weren't for Travis, and I have to say that I'm very impressed with these flashlights. I'll go ahead and include a link to both of his channels at the end of this video. Go check him out. I'll also include a link to the first video that I did about this OLight i5R rechargeable flashlight. See? Didn't come back on. Thanks for watching.